For the headlines.
Russia invaded Ukraine. Russia-Ukraine war, a tremendous political success for Ukraine. Russia-Ukraine war, crashing the global economy.
Live from Central Mindanao University, serving you the hottest and sizzling news, giving you the interesting information. This is Sandara K. Gibao and Sashin Ann P. Gudito, and this is Film News Philippines. Russia invaded Ukraine.
The Russian leader's initial aim was to overrun Ukraine and depose its government, ending for good its desire to join the Western Defensive Alliance NATO. After a month of failures, he abandoned his bid to capture the capital Kiev and turn his ambitions to Ukraine's east and south. Launching the invasion on 24 February, he told the Russian people his goal was to demilitarize and denazify Ukraine. His declared aim was to protect people subjected to what he called 8 years of bullying and genocide by Ukraine's government. Some Western analysts see Russia 2022 invasion as the culmination of the Kremlin's growing resentment toward NATO's post-Cold War expansion into the former Soviet sphere of influence. Russian leaders, including Putin, have alleged that the United States and NATO repeatedly violated pledges they made in the early 1990s to not expand the alliance into the former Soviet bloc. They view NATO's enlargement during this tumultuous period for Russia as a humiliating imposition about which they could do little but watch.
Russia-Ukraine war, a tremendous political success for Ukraine.
This war has already been a tremendous political success for Ukraine, though extremely costly in terms of lives lost, property damage, and cities destroyed in it. Ukraine has won recognition as a state in the international stage. Most nations are forged in war, and Ukraine has turned this terrible attack to its long-term advantage by introducing itself to the world as a powerful state. It has demonstrated itself to be a democracy, a European nation, possessed of a powerful civic nationalism that transcends the Ukrainian Russian-speaking language, divided to include a wide diversity of ethnic identities: Polish, Jewish, Armenian, and Greek. With its popular and telegenic president, Ukraine has left an undeniable mark on the world stage, most notably after decades of skepticism from core EU states. Ukraine proved itself to be a part of Europe, of European values, and therefore a potential future member of the bloc that will change Ukrainian politics permanently. Ukraine will become a more confident country in the future, more deeply embedded in Europe. It will orient its government towards the project of Western integration, applying for EU membership and taking all the steps it can to achieve it. Zelensky has set a decisive direction for Ukrainian politics as an attempt to integrate as closely as it can with the West to win security and economic advancement.
Russia-Ukraine war crushing the global economy. This and more news to follow after this short break.
Reminders to prevent the spread of the virus. Wear face mask and face shield at all times.
Keep your hands clean.
Practice social distancing.
Refrain from touching your face.
Avoid touching your face. Avoid crowded areas. Russia-Ukraine war crushing the global economy.
Russia's war in Ukraine is dragging down global economic growth more than expected and driving up inflation that will stay high into next year, the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development said. The war in Ukraine has driven up food and energy prices worldwide, with Russia a key global energy and fertilizer supplier and both countries major exporters of grain for millions of people worldwide already facing hunger. The war, the burden of high energy and food prices as well as zero COVID-19 policies from China mean that growth will be lower and inflation will be higher and more persistent, the OECD Secretary General Matthias Cormann told. The inflation and energy supply shock led the OECD to project annual economic growth to slow down 1.5% in the United States this year and just 0.5% next year. The group expects the economy to grow 1.25% this year in the 19 countries using the euro currency, with risk of deeper declines in several European economies during the winter months and 0.3% in 2023. It noted the specter of energy shortage in Europe after Russia reduced supplies of natural gas needed to heat homes, generate electricity, and power factories. Shortage could send energy prices up worldwide and force businesses to ration, pushing many European countries into a recession next year. Growth in China is expected to drop to 3.2% this year, except in 2020 when the pandemic emerged. It would be the lowest growth rate in China since the 1970s. The group projected it would rise slightly to 4.7% next year. The OECD called for short-term help for people hurt the most by rising prices, further interest rate hikes by central banks, climate policies that follow countries search for more alternate energy sources, and international cooperation to strengthen food supplies.
Serving you the hottest and sizzling news. Giving you the interesting information. This is Sandara K. Gibao. This is Sashin and P. Gudita. Thank you for watching. To God be the glory.